everyone, Dr. Yonit Arthur here. I'm an audiologist and strength coach, and I specialize in vestibular disorders. Welcome to 5 Minutes of Vestib number 4, where we finish up our discussion of the dizzy voice by talking about the well voice. The well voice is the voice that can counteract the harmful claims that the dizzy voice makes to you. Now that you've learned how to put the dizzy voice's claims on trial, your well voice is going to be able to step in and dispute those statements. For some of you, it's not going to be as simple as making a factual argument against what the dizzy voice is saying. Why? Because for many of you, the dizzy voice has been doing its thing undetected for a really long time, and it's strong, and it's hard to know how to counteract its strength. So, in order to have a voice that can talk back to those statements and say, no, that's not true, we need to spend a little bit of time developing that well voice. There are several ways to do this, but I'm going to give you one method that may sound a little silly at first, so bear with me. This is an exercise commonly used in cognitive behavioral psychology, as well as some more alternative style health and wellness methods like yoga and meditation. It's called SelfCompassion. And SelfCompassion merely means showing compassion to yourself, being kind to yourself, and having self-love. If you're rolling your eyes at me, you're not alone. It sounds very touchy-feely, but there's actual good scientific evidence behind this. When we practice self-compassion, what happens? We release happy chemicals in the brain, or chemicals that counteract some of those stress, fight or flight chemicals that tend to be activated by the dizzy voice and other critical voices in our heads. Even if you don't believe me, try this exercise a few times and see how it feels afterwards. To start, I want you to imagine the most compassionate and kindest person you know. Even better, you can imagine when a kind and compassionate person in your life helped you through a time of hardship. I want you to really picture this person, picture the person's mannerisms, picture the person's voice, and write down the very types of things that the person actually said or would say. For example, when you've had a tough time, whether related to dizziness or not, if this person supported you, you would write down the things that the person said that made you feel validated, loved, and supported. And again, if you can't think of a specific instance in which someone was supportive, just imagine that kind, compassionate person in your life now and what that person would say to you. Make a list of those kind statements, and you want to think of at least 5 of those statements. Examples would be things like, I know you're suffering, and I just want you to know that I support you. You've been going through a really hard time. What can I do to help you? I'm really here for you. Let me know what you need. You're a good person, and you don't deserve to be suffering the way that you are. Once you have your list of your compassionate or kind statements, I want you to go to a mirror and I want you to read those statements to yourself in the mirror. You're gonna do this 2 to 3 times a day. And again, it's totally normal to feel foolish. And that's because, again, we're not very used to being kind and compassionate toward ourselves, especially when that critical dizzy voice and other voices have been taking over for so long. However, like anything else that you practice, you will get better at it the more you do it. So commit to trying it for a few days, a week, 2 weeks. Make a little note to yourself after you do it about how it felt. And once you've strengthened that wise voice or that well voice, when the dizzy voice comes up, soon your automatic response to those dizzy voice statements is going to be to counter them with the well voice. And that's ultimately what we're going for. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen my previous videos on the dizzy voice, check out 5 Minutes of Vestib 1 through 3. I look forward to seeing you guys again. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, please like, and comment below to let me know if you're going to try this exercise at home. Take care, guys.